session. So good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to you all who are joining us for today's Daily Lightning session. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And today is the 1st of September 2020, and I want to wish a happy new month to everyone that's here. Today we are holding our 21st Daily Lightning session. And as always, while you join in, you just type in your city, your country in the chat so we know where you're joining in from. That said, I want to say welcome to Alain Kikwaya that is joining from DRC. I know DRC is a French-speaking country. So, Alain, nous avons des séances quotidiennes avec les francophones tous les jours, 14h, heure de Genève. But if you understand English, fine and good, you're welcome to join us for this session. And I see there's also Serish Shahid that's joined us. You have not indicated where you're calling in from, Serish. But please, when you're typing in your message, ensure that it's addressed to all panelists and attendees. We also have the Q&A slot. If you have any questions, please remember to click on the icon, the Q&A icon on your screen, and type in your question, and we will do our best to give you the answer to the questions that you're having. And I'm greeting Abraham Aminano from Ghana. You're welcome, Abraham. All right, so where are we as far as exercise 1 of the COVID-19 peer hub is concerned? This is the week when you see the peers feedback for your project. And for you to see the peers feedback, so many of you have been calling and or writing to us and say, I can't see the feedback on my work. Where do I see? So here there is a tutorial that can help you to know exactly where to find the feedback. And I'm just going to share the link. How do you view the feedback that you receive from your peers? And I'm sharing the link with you right now on the chat. You can just click on that link and you view that tutorial. It's a very simple step-by-step exercise on peer grade where you can see the feedback that you receive from your peers who reviewed your initial project. And what do you do with that feedback? You take that feedback and you use the comments that were shared by the peers to see if you can improve upon the quality of your initial project so that you revise your initial project and you submit the final project. That is your goal, your focus for this week 4 is to revise and submit your project before the deadline. The deadline is Friday, the 4th of September at 11:59 p.m. Geneva time. So please do your best to work on work on your project and submit before the deadline, because this is a certification requirement. It is very important for you because it's the final product, it's the final product of the exercise, and you are going to use that project to implement in your context in order to improve upon the immunization performances in your context. So it's very important. So you base your revision on the constructive feedback you received, and you focus on the action. How will you take your project into action? And that said, I'm just going to invite Francois that is here. And before he comes, I want to say welcome to you, Yahya Ahmed. And I wish you will also have a nice time during this session. I also want to welcome Ruth Boatema from Ghana, a regular attendee in this session, and also Janada from Abuja, Nigeria. Ruth is from Ghana. You're welcome, Lizzie Igbine from Nigeria also. So right now I'm going to call on Francois. Focus on action. How will you take the project into action? And Francois is going to guide you in a few minutes on how you're going to do that. And later on, we are going to invite you to just share with us how the revision process is going for you and how are you working on improving upon your work. So good evening once again, Francois, and over to you.
Thank you, Charlotte, and good evening to all the ones that just joined. And I don't know how many of you attended the global session yesterday. People were there, they may not have the possibility to attend. Can you say, if you attend, you say yes or no? It will be important for me to focus on certain element or to have a quick revision of some of the guidance that will help you to complete this week your project. Okay. So is it possible for you to say yes on the comment?
So please, can you just type in a yes in the chat if you attended yesterday's global assembly? can you just type in a yes in the chat? If you
Yes.
attended yesterday's global assembly. Okay, so I see Alain that says, no, I wasn't able. Abraham, yes. Lizzie, yes. For now, only 2 yeses and 1 no. So please type in a yes or a no in the chat if you were able to attend the global assembly. So 3 yeses, 1 no. Okay, Francois.
Okay, thank you. So obviously not so many attended out of the 17 participants, only few were able to attend, and we understand that you are very busy. COVID is far from being resolved for the time being. You have also immunization responsibility in the context of COVID. So I'm going to go back, and sorry for the one who have heard me yesterday. I will try to focus more on the most important things. So, you know, the first thing is that the overall purpose of your project is to try to help restore your immunization coverage as it was during before COVID came and give you all this negative impact on your coverage. For many reasons, you are all now quite aware because you have reviewed the situation, you have some documents which are helping you to address the negative impact of COVID on your immunization program. Next one. So this is your overall context in which you are going to develop a project. So in the part 1 of your project, what this exercise is asking you is to select your priority challenge among the many challenges that you face. And for the challenge you will select, we are asked you to set a goal for that particular challenge to overcome. It's not a goal to overcome the coverage, but it's a goal to address the challenge, explaining why you have this coverage issue. So basically, we want you you have the model, and in the first section, part 1, we're asking you to summarize your immunization situation and the COVID situation and how together they've been interacting and unfortunately affecting immunization coverage in most countries. And when I say most countries, it could be also in your area where you are working currently and where you are responsible. It could be at the health facility level, at district or at national level. And then when you have summarized the situation with some figures if you can, and taking information from various documents, you will have to list the main challenge that have been causing the drop in immunization coverage. I think it's important that you fully aware of the 5, 6 challenges that explain why your coverage went down. We know that among the challenge, and there was a survey asking you, the main challenge was the fear of being contaminated for the health worker by the mothers coming and the patient in health facilities. Second was the fear of mothers who were afraid to be contaminated when they go in the health facility, and there was mixed message, stay home, but so I'm not going to a health facility because there is a risk. And there was many rumors, and those rumors are continuing. We noticed also there was problem with the EPI equipment, the protective equipment for the health workers, and there was not full understanding of of all the COVID situation in practical terms, and mixed message coming from different sources. Now, if you have all the specific challenge listed, and they could be part of your local plan, and you've been asked by your government to respond to those challenges, we ask you to select one priority will be your challenge, and to justify your decision as compared to other challenge. You choose one. You could choose one. It's your decision, given your context that may vary from an urban setup to a rural setup, depending on the level you are. You choose one priority challenge. You know, one is offer of services. The second one is mother coming, the demand for the services, as they both can be affected, but you have to choose one. And when you have chosen one, it has to be very specific, very concrete, that people understand clearly the challenge you are facing. You have to set up a specific, measurable, achievable goal. It's called, we say, SMART in abbreviation. But you have to be sure that if people see your your goal, the goal is really linked to your challenge. And you can have some figures you want to achieve, and you need to be sure that if you say, I've achieved my goal, you can show evidence with some numbers or some facts that tell you, yes, I've achieved my. And of course, this has to be taken into account the duration of it. You cannot have a goal for 1 year. We ask you to set a goal for the coming year and realize that it is your goal. So you have to make sure that it's doable from where you are with the multiple responsibility you have. And maybe you're also involved in other challenge. Maybe you have some colleague addressing those challenge, but your goal should be part of what you do at your level of responsibility to do better with immunization in spite of COVID. Next one. So now, if we like now part 2, number 9 slide. When you have part 2, you have set a goal, you have set a specific challenge, you have set a goal for the challenge, and now you have to decide how you're going to address it and hopefully overcome the challenge and achieve the goal you have set. And for that, you need action. You could then action, corrective measure, or it could be ideas that will help you, that concrete ideas on which you can act upon that will help you to overcome. So I think in order, and as you see the word priority, I think it's very important. You cannot, and nobody can do everything. And the more you focus, the more you have a chance to achieve a goal set. If you focus, and focusing means choosing what you're going to do and choosing what you're not going to do. And to do that, you will have to really list first the main cause of your challenge. And this will help you to prioritize on the few actions idea that will help you, if implemented, to contribute to the resolution of your problem. And for those actions, and you've seen that there is a little frame with action, you should use action verb. You know, you have to avoid in those action ensuring, collaborating, communicating, planning, etc. Those are not action words. They are strategic, operational strategic words. They can be linked to an objective. But what we ask you in the action is to define how you're going to ensure. If you say collaborating with leaders, how you're going to collaborate with us, and then you will have to, if it's communicating, how you're going to, what action, what are the set of action you will do to communicate with mothers or communicate with leaders or influencers or decision makers. Now, this, and you've seen that you have about 5, there's 5 space. We think that with your challenge and your goal, 3 to 4 action is what you can do. Make sure you can really do it and you feel that you can become accountable to achieving and to implement those actions towards the goal you set. Now, nothing prevents you to have a little objective in each of your action. If you training, for example, you will say, I will train 1 health worker per health facility in maybe half of my health facility where there is the biggest drop in coverage. That's good, okay, or where the rumors are born regularly. This is okay, you can set an objective because then it gives you a concrete way to achieve your action. But every action should lead to subtasks, you know, the detailed action step or implementation steps you are required to do an action. If you want to, if your goal is to stop rumors, how are you going to stop rumors? If you decide that you will make, like someone said, a very good idea was cartography of rumors that we keep up to date, which means that you have a card and you know where rumors are born, and it helps you to react to every rumor and try to control those rumors. To develop such a map, your step is maybe contact every community, have a phone call and contact the leaders and say, when a rumors is come about vaccine, please call that number and we will come to see you to discuss the rumors and try to control it. So you see, you can have several actions behind a control of rumors. It could be a few actions. In your main action, we would like you to have at least 1 action. How are you going to monitor you're going to reach your goal and you're making progress in implementing the action steps and basically leading to implementing of the full action that you've listed. In the little action step, make sure that you clearly define who will do what, with whom, when, and with what resources. If you need a lot of resources, you may never be able to do this action. So be very cautious and be, again, the key word is prioritization. Prioritization means it's something which will have an impact on the problem you want to correct, because you understand clearly that's the main cause. We will address the two main causes, for example. I think this focus is extremely important, and the clarification on who will do what will very quickly give you a feedback of what you can do at your level and what you cannot do alone and or with collaborators, but there is a limit to the workload. The last point is about the source. Make sure, I think it's clear in the English version of the model, you have an idea engine where you may have used some ideas deposited on this data engine. So we want you to be clear on the idea you have taken and list the author ID of the idea. Make sure that you list the idea and that you use and not the challenge. Sometimes what has been the title was a challenge, but if he's communicating with leaders, maybe you found by reading that challenge title, you find some idea to use. So mention the idea while you mention, of course, the ID of the author that you will have on the engine, motor engine. But of course, mention other source. It could be your idea, it could be your colleague, it could be other documents like WHO guidelines, could be the EPI continuity plan, could be the COVID response plan. Mention the source of action that have helped you to choose actions you want to implement. Thank you, and over to you, Charlotte.
Okay, so thank you very much, Francois. And I'm already seeing a raised hand, and I'm glad to see that, because at this point in time, we really want you, these sessions are meant for you to share your experiences with us, for you to be able to say, how are you doing as far as the revision of your project is concerned? How did you see the feedback that was given to you by your peers? And here are some questions that are pasted on the screen that have to do with what you have received as feedback from your peers, how you're going to use that feedback to improve upon your final project. And I see Bosco Mapunda, your hand has been raised for some time now. Maybe you have a question, or you want to attempt the questions on the chat. I'll be glad if you can unmute yourself. And if you're able to share your screen, you just let me know so that I'll stop sharing this way. Bosco Mapunda. All right, and earlier on the Q&A, I saw a question from Nuhu Sani. And Nuhu, I asked if you want to share your screen and show us exactly what the problem is, because I can't seem to understand the question, but I think it has to do with, it's a technical question. Say, my question is on the feedback from the project I reacted to, the feedback received from the reviewers that review my project. But in the result, it's showing me question 1 of 2 is not answered and question 2 of 2 is not answered, which I know that I answered all 4 questions. And so I said, Nuhu, if you could share your screen with us, if you're in the possibility of share your screen, we really want you to show us exactly what the problem is, so we can look for a solution together. And I'll also give you the possibility to unmute yourself so that you could actually voice out your concern. So Nuhu, I'm giving you the possibility of unmuting yourself. And I see probably Bosco Mapunda raised his hand accidentally. I just want to say welcome to Farouk Umar. Farouk Umar, you didn't indicate where you're joining from. Daniel Dogo from Nigeria, Hawatens from Nigeria, and Fusaini Abubakar from Ghana. You're all welcome to to today's session. I also have Halima Toro that's connecting from Abuja, Nigeria. And right now we already know the principle of these sessions is not just about us doing the talking, but you sharing your experiences with us and getting feedback from your peers and from Dr. Francois that is here with us. So please go ahead and raise your hand. I am looking forward to inviting you to unmute yourself. So please, can you go ahead? And Nuhu Sani, I gave you the possibility to unmute yourself and really pose your question. And I'm saying welcome to you, Hassan from Kenya. Amsalu from Ethiopia. Okay, I see Amsalu says he has a connection problem today. It's not you alone, Amsalu. We are all facing those challenges together, but it's great that you could join. And I do hope you're getting us. If you're not getting us clearly, don't worry. The recording of the session will be made available. And I greet you too, Dorothy from Kenya. So if you've been invited to unmute yourself, we want to know how you are doing with the revision of your final project. And it's already 6:21 p.m. Geneva time, and we are 9 minutes to the official end of the session. It's usually 30 minutes. We are not obliged to go up to 30 minutes if we consider that you are not having any problems. But I also just wanted to answer Nuhu Sani to say, is that the feedback you got, was it only from one reviewer or from all of your reviewers? So if it was from one reviewer, then no problem. Check out the feedback and the comments you receive from the other reviewers and use those comments to improve upon your work. Now, if all your reviewers said the same thing, then you may want to check out the work that you did if there was a problem. So Halima is asking a question, can I review a submitted feedback reaction? If yes, how do I go about it? Review a submitted, you can react. Halima, if I got your question right, you can react to the feedback that you have received. You can react to it. There's a possibility to react to the feedback that you have received. And I'm sure the video tutorial made available has all of that. You can comment, say if the feedback is very useful, if it's not useful at all, and you explain why you think so. So, and Halima, I gave you the possibility to unmute yourself. So if you may want to be clear, if you may want to be to ask your question with more clarity, can you unmute yourself? Okay, good evening, Halima.
Good evening, Madam Charlotte. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yes, I think you are getting the question. Maybe I didn't put it well. Is that I have reacted and I feel I want to review it. Is it possible? And I have submitted already, but I've not done the 3. I did 1 and I submitted. And I found out I would need to make some adjustment. Can I go back to that one and react?
Yes,
Maybe
I think you can. Yes, I think you can still do so.
Well, because I tried doing it and it's not taking it's not giving me that opportunity. Yes, that's the reason why I asked.
Yeah, probably because it's a reaction. So if I may ask you, Halima, how did you see the feedback that you received for your project? How many feedbacks did you receive first and foremost?
I got 3.
Okay, you got all the 3, and
yes,
how was
I reviewed 3 and I got 3.
That's great. So how did you see the feedback?
The feedback were useful. They are all useful to an extent, but it's not everything given that I will take because it depends on my context.
Exactly.
So the ones that are useful, I have taken and I'm improving on my work to that aspect and viewer to see it my own way, but still thanking him and promising that I will consider his suggestion and see how it fits into my context.
Thank you very much, Halima. And your answer is the answer of the experienced scholar that you have. And even a scholar accompanies that says that, okay, the reviewer is giving suggestions, but he doesn't really master your context the way you do. And so you take the suggestions with gratitude, appreciating the efforts and the time that it took to go through your work and saying, okay, this I can take because it's going to help me, but this I can't take because it doesn't apply to my context. Okay,
Exactly.
so and if I may want to ask, what was your project all about?
It was about the safety of health workers in the workplace.
Okay, so that was the challenge that you wanted to face, and the specific objective?
It was in the clinic
Okay.
that is owned by the ministry, and not only providing health services to the staff, but also is open to outsiders. And in the context of COVID-19, it became a problem because of the high influx of people, and observing they are not fully complying to the preventive measures, that is the use of face masks. So that was a challenge I observed and I decided to work on.
And what was your objective, your specific objective?
My specific objective is to improve COVID-19 preventive measures in the workplace.
But you know, improvement is very generic. Can you be more specific? Do you have some data to say maybe you want 90% of the health worker to be wearing mask? But I don't know if you have some baseline data, but you could set an objective even if you don't have baseline data with the observation. But you need to have an objective you can measure your work against. Improving,
yes, sir,
you know,
is to
1%
create awareness among. Okay.
But created awareness is a general objective. If you want to achieve a goal, you need to set how many people, who are the target, what percentage of people you want to be aware of, you know, among the health worker about the preventive measure, as you mentioned, because then you can have a spot check and show and see if your work and your action to correct the problem have worked.
Yes, sir. I was specific about the health
I don't hear you.
in the staff clinic.
Sorry, can you repeat, because there was a fuzzy noise.
Okay, sir. I said I was specific. My focus was on the health staff in the health clinic, the workers in the health clinic.
Okay, and this is very specific, and I congratulate you for having a very specific challenge. Now, when will you say that you have succeeded in overcoming the challenge? What will be a goal when you say, I've succeeded?
Yes, it's attitudinal change observed in the health staff, and the training and awareness created being practiced among the staff. Then I will say I'm making progress.
Exactly. You're becoming now much more specific on the goal you've set for yourself, and that's excellent. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so thank you.
I think I'm done.
All right, thank you very much, Halima, and thank you, Francois, for picking up the stride and getting Halima to really share with us specifically what she is focusing on in her project. And I just took the liberty once again to share the link on the chat on how to view the feedback you receive, because I still saw a question from Alain Kikwa that says that he is not seeing that he's not able to reach the feedback from his reviewers, so he can't go further with his project. That's why I just shared the link with him. It's a clear video tutorial that shows you step by step how on peer grade you can see the reviews, the feedback that you received from your peers, from your reviewers. And I see Jaffa Sani that says on the chat, well done, Halima, for sharing your project with us. And thanks, we just took the opportunity of Halima wanting to ask her question and got her to actually share her experience with us. And I'm glad, and I do hope that somebody was able to gain something from that. So at the moment, I'm not seeing any more raised hands, no more questions on the chat, no more questions on the Q&A, but I do have one last question for you before we separate this evening. Is there anyone that is facing a particular challenge as far as revising this final project is concerned? If yes, please, can you just type in a yes on the chat if you're having a challenge? If you're having a challenge as far as revising in any section, in any part of the project, can you just type in a yes in the chat? Okay, and finally, I see Bosco Mapunda, you have unmuted yourself. So we are listening to you. And he has muted himself again. All right, okay. So I see Nafisa Lawal has typed in yes on the Q&A. Glory says no. That's great to know, Glory. You're not having any issue. So Nafisa, I'm just going to invite you to unmute yourself. Nafisa, can you unmute yourself and then share your challenge with us? That's why we are here. So Nafisa, can you please unmute yourself? So that we can, or you could type in your challenge in the chat and then we'll read it out. We'll see how we can handle that together. All right, maybe Nafisa, it's not possible for you to unmute yourself. So can you just type in? I see Hanatu, your hand is raised. Okay, Hanatu, please unmute yourself and then share your thoughts with us.
Okay. Hello, good evening from here, everybody. I just wanted to find out the format, the rubric that was given and the format that was given for the project. The lady that showed us her work yesterday, I noticed she did some tweaking to it. She added some columns. I don't know if that is fine to make our work more easily comprehensible by creating, I saw that she created a column for responsible people for the actions. I don't know if that is fine. Are we free to do that?
Yes, and yes, Hanatu, you're free to do that. To give clarity to your work, you are free to do that. The most important thing, the template is there to give you guidance, but for you to be as concrete and as detailed as possible, you may want to reorganize it in a way that it will be clear for you and clear for every other person that will go through your project. So you may want to add a column maybe for responsible people or a timeline. It all depends on you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too. All right, and I'm seeing that Dr. Daniel Dogo that's asking, is it possible to make a table in the specific action section? So he's asking exactly the same question that Hanatu just asked. And so Dr. Daniel Dogo, I believe your question has already been answered. And if the answer is satisfactory to you, you may just want to let us know. So you can add a column in the actions section to, if you want to maybe include the persons responsible, that is those who are involved, and then to include maybe a timeline, it still goes. All right, so it's 6:34 p.m. Geneva time, and I'm not seeing any more questions any more raised hands. So I really want to thank you for being with us this evening, for joining this session. I want to thank you, Halima, for the question you asked. That was quite pertinent, and sharing your experience with us. And I want to thank you, Hanatu, and every other person that's been typing in the chat. And I want to thank Dr. Francois Gaz for always being here, giving the very useful advice. And I'm just going to invite Francois, final parting words, and then I'm going to call upon Shalini, that is always here. Thank you, Shalini, for always being here, and just she will close the session for us. So thank you, everyone. Francois?
Thank you, Charlotte. First, I would like to just thank you, Alima, and for those on the chat, because I think you make the session alive when you share a challenge, when you share your experience, and we comment, and every scholar comment on your challenge. And so really thank you, Alima, for accepting to share. And you've done a great job, and just little fiddling. And on that, I would like to stress again how important it has been mentioned by everyone, the peer review. And I think the peer review is a fantastic approach to improve your project, and has been sort of raised by so many of the scholars. And I think this is a really strong innovation that will help all of us, and it helps the one who does a peer review, because you immediately do a self review of your own project. So I want you to take very cautiously all the comment of the peer review, because they spend time on it. And as it was mentioned, of course, you're free to take or to leave the comment. It's your context, you know better the situation and your role where you work. So take what's useful and leave what's not useful, while thank you, the peer reviewer. But please do really look carefully, because I think the peer reviews have been done with a lot of attention, taking time to try to make your project better. And I'm sure those peer review will make everyone's project much better. So I wish you the luck to finalize your project this week, and we will all be there to help when needed. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Francois. Shalini, for the parting words.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, and thank you, Francois. And as always, for these wonderful sessions, and I'm sure everybody has really benefited from it. So I just want to remind you all that if you have any issues in navigating through the peer grade or learning.foundation, or if you want to get more tips and advice on how to improve your project, then please do join the daily lightning sessions. And for navigating through the for technical issues, please join the technical support sessions that are held at 11 a.m. Geneva time. As you all are here, you know that the lightning sessions are held at 6 p.m. Geneva time, and they're going to be held tomorrow and on till Friday. So, and do reach out to us and do not suffer in silence. So what you can do is reach out to us on Telegram or WhatsApp, and everyone is here to support you. And you can also reach out to your peers who are always available to help, even on Telegram, as we see that everybody is helping each other. So all the best to you all, and have a great day and stay safe. So bye from all of us right now, and hope to see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.